Say the Queen banned it after it was shown in 1969 for some reason, when Charles was just 18, by the way. There was some copyright issue, I don't know. But I'll show you a bit of it before I ask my guest what it tells her as a royal biographer.
I like to think of it more as a family rather than a firm, I think. I tend to think of my family as very special people.
Oh, and I do also want to show this, what the BBC also showed.
I always have the sense, though, that if you were not in this public position, you'd like to be an actor.
I love imitating and mimicking. Relax. I enjoy making people laugh if I can. And in a strange way, so much of what one does requires, I find, acting ability in one way or another. And it's extremely useful if you enjoy it. So I start when the green light goes on, do I?
Joining me, I'm very glad to say, is Angela Levin, a royal biographer, award-winning one, whose books include Harry, Conversations with the Prince. Angela Levin, what a pleasure for me to catch up with you. Now, I've met Charles only once and only briefly. No, mine in particular. But when I met him, he did, again, the same impression I always get, introspective, but with a great sense of humour. We both share a love of the goons. And for decades, he seemed indeed like he was acting the role then of a prince. But although lately, I have to say, he seemed much more at ease with what he is doing. But you're a much closer observer. Who is this man who liked acting?
Well, I spent a year with him in the run-up to his 70th birthday, and I could see all sorts of different moods. One is that he does like to make people laugh. I think he works out something that will relax them and make them smile. And he's also very, very interested in people. But he does like acting. That was when he was at Cambridge University. He had quite a hard time there because he had protection officers around him all the time. And people teased him and slightly bullied him, not as much as at school in Scotland, but still they felt awkward having a future king in their midst. And he could therefore be another person when he acted. He could relax, he could exaggerate the character he was playing. And I think it was a very good way of relaxing. I mean, now he has an even better way, which is because of his wife, Queen Camilla. She had a knack of, and she still does have a knack, of making him feel very relaxed and making him laugh. And when she was first on the scene, but known to be on the scene, when there were meetings, he would want her to be close to him. And at first his aides didn't like it, but then they realised that when she was there, he was much more amenable. He would get things done much more quickly, and his sort of irritableness had gone. So Queen Camilla, I wrote a biography of her actually too, which came out at the end of last year, and she's also got a very good sense of humour. If you see them out and about, they're sort of often giggling together, and they have a very careful, silent conversation, and they recognise each other with eye looks and just facial expressions, and they are very happy. So he is very happy. Also, when he first met her, and he was 22 and she was 24, he said afterwards that she's the first person who's ever really listened to me, and he felt very appreciative of that. But she listened to him because she was interested in what he had to say. So it was an ideal, and has been an ideal love story, really.
Yeah, and let's also not forget that, you know, if you act a role long enough, in time, you'll become quite used to it. It'll become you, you know, if you do it long enough. But what, you know, when you say the giggling between them, and I've noticed it too, but, you know, not personally, just on the air, the people he's admired as comedians, like Spike Milligan, they always saw the absurdity of whatever was going on around them. And I think he does too. I wonder, you know, in a sense, he's not taking it very seriously. He's giggling, he's laughing, and yet he does. And I just wonder whether you think, seeing him quite close up, can he do the job of uniting people and making them take this institution actually quite seriously?
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, like a normal person, he has many different sides to him, and I've seen him not make a deal, but actually discuss things about climate change and things that he really cares about. He's very serious about that, but he doesn't want to make it seem that he can't smile and warm to the person he's talking to about his plans. He's very respectful of people who don't know their subject, and reads voraciously and makes sure he's up to date with what's going on. Very caring for young people. The Prince's Trust has done amazingly well with getting 1 million people off the street and into a job over the years. And I think that he combines his humour with actually understanding completely, because as you say, he's been working towards it for decades, of what his responsibility is. And I think that having a wife by your side who respects him, understands him, and who he can trust, I think will make a huge difference, because there's a mighty problem really when you're a king, because, you know, if you do one thing that the other person dislikes, if you do another thing that person dislikes it, you're trapped between a rock and a hard place. But with her, because she's very relaxed, she knows him so well, they've been together for over 50 years, that she doesn't want to interfere, she doesn't think it's a 50-50 job, but she will be there to comfort him and to listen and to be an important part of his life.